Good afternoon. My name is Wanda Townsend, and today I'm here to persuade my audience of the need of more skilled nurses in the next decade. Now, if you allow me, before I begin my speech, I'd like to entertain you for a moment of a story, a joke, about an elderly young lady who one day had attended church services, and on her way home from church service, she come to home to find an intruder in her home. Now, the elderly lady loved the Lord, and she just screamed as loud as she could, Acts 2:38. Now, most of us as Christians know Acts 2:38. The intruder had no idea about Acts 2:38. After the elderly lady had calmed down, and she called the police, and she told the police officer what she had done. When the officer got there, he looked at the intruder and he asked him, "Why did you just stay there?" The intruder looked at the officers and said, "Really?" That old woman said that she had an axe and 2:38. I thought that would intrigue you for a moment. But to begin my speech, I would like to introduce you of my findings. In 2014, the U.S. Census Bureau did an estimate of the elderly. By the year 2030, about 85 Americans will be at the age of 65. My opinion, that's very, very important. And so there is a special need for skilled nurses in our next decade. Now, I have my audience with me today. They always have questions to ask me as I do my speech. Today,
Yes, under what circumstance would you consider placing one of your relatives in a skilled nursing home?
okay, to answer your questions, I would like for you personally to introduce yourself to my audience.
My name is Joni Bradwell, and I'm here with this speech listening and trying to find out some information about skilled nurses and facilities.
Now, skilled nurses can be defined in many ways. They could be a nurse that do x-rays. They could be a nurse that provide transportation to the elderly. And most importantly, they could be a hospice nurse who care for our patients at the end of life. And also, I have my niece, Keisha Bush. She has a question for me today.
Have you ever heard any horror stories regarding treatment at skilled nursing facilities?
Wow, I think about when my grandmother was at a nursing facility. I would always go by and visit Grandma, because Grandma always had a story to tell me. But on this particular day, when I went in to see Grandma, she was kind of incoherent. And I was like, well, what's going on with my grandmother? And at that moment, I saw how important it was to have skilled nurses in a nursing facility, because I had no idea as to what was going on with my grandmother. So at that point, to be able to put my loved ones, the one that I care for, it is very important to know that the nurses are skilled. And it's very important for nurses to be in a skilled facility. If you really think about it. When my grandma got to be her age, she didn't have an understanding of how to take her medications. She had no idea of the timing when her medication should be administered to her. So I feel like it's very important today. I tell you, my class, it is very important to have a skilled nurse in a nursing facility. I have another question by my audience today.
In your opinion, can you tell me, what do you think about hospice care?
Now, when I think about hospice care, that question is very, very important to me. I think about my mother. In her last days, it was important for me to understand the transitioning period as to what was happening with my mother. Being that a hospice nurse was very skilled, they explained the transition. They explained to me. They gave me actually an estimation of a 24-hour period. Now, I knew that my mother was transitioning, and it was very important to me to know every step of the way. And to have a skilled nurse there is very important. So today I say to you that it's very, very important. And if we're going to care about the needs of our loved one, we really will have to come up with an intervention to be able to care for our loved ones in the next decade. Thank you very much for your audience.